This is WOMMLP operating out of Burlington from 105.9 The Radiator. Good evening, it's The Rocket Shop. I'm your host, Tom Proctor, and it brings me great pleasure to introduce you to tonight is Content Clown. Hello, how's it going?
You did a great job with the name.
Thank you. Yeah, Content Clown, Content Clown, and then occasionally Bex.
Occasionally Bex.
Well, I'll interchangeably go through the whole three as we go through this interview. How are you doing? How does a clown fare in a snow? I mean, your clothes aren't particularly practical for it.
Practicality is for the lizards. I've been born to adjust.
I see. You say that because they have the beards and it keeps them warm in the face. And, yeah,
and they store the sun.
Right. Keeps it underneath. They keep it underneath their cloaks. It's like a permanent warm blanket under there.
Exactly.
It makes a lot of sense. Well, we like kicking off with a song. So what have you got for us?
Well, reverb-knob operator, Maia Gilmour. The first song I'm going to play for you is called The Song You've Never Heard. And it's a story song. You're on a nude beach in Seattle. You're with two of your best friends who will one day be two of your worst enemies, but you're not thinking about any of that now because you're happy. You watch the fog roll across the water, and as if releasing the ghost, you start to sing. My first love was a forest firefighter. I watched her as the flames grew higher and higher. My first love wasn't afraid of the sun, but she was the daughter of one of those precious little boys you see in the mirror. She taught them peculiar kinds of fear. My first love wasn't afraid of the red flower. My first love saved all the jungle creatures with her song, and it went doo 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 doo. Gone now. She ran away with the awfulest growl. Don't you speak her name around here. It fills me with the loneliest fear. Do 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 do.
All right, there, Content Clown with The Song You've Never Heard. Quite the story you've got there. Is this autobiographical?
What happened to me? Well, I was sitting on a nude beach.
In Seattle?
In Seattle. And I was with two of my best friends who are now two of my worst enemies.
Mm.
But I couldn't say that I've ever had a first love because the love has never stopped.
I see. So a continuous love. And is the love still dead and gone, or was that?
Not
just kind
dead.
of waxing lyrical.
I mean, dead and alive still. Dead in its old form. Alive again in a new form.
Oh, wonderful. So it went through the whole Phoenix kind of rebirth process,
Forest
which is
fire
great. Yeah.
of love.
There we go. Tying this all back to the song. This is great. So, Content Clown. Tell us a little bit about, your history, your genesis. Where did you come to be? How are clowns born?
Oh, that's such a good question. And I feel like first I must address the problem of my name, because many wonder, content? Content? I'm confused. And the real thing of it all is that when I'm on the internet, I'm content. When I'm in real life, I'm content. So here now, I am content, content, and a clown, and being born. Wonderful question. I love to be born. It's so good. Have you guys tried it?
Once, and it was pretty harrowing, but I'm glad you enjoy it.
I mean, the harrowing is a part of it,
okay.
for sure. And to be born as a clown, well, secretly, you all are right now being born as clowns. Because we are all clowns.
We are, well, most of us, I think, at least, are clowns, at least at some points in our lives. You, on the other hand, have decided to remain born and living as a clown. So when did you make that decision? So, if you're sitting in your room and one day you're like, this is who I want to be, but forever.
Oh, yes, good question. I felt like it was after 45 got elected because I realized that none of this, pretending like any of this was normal, was probably not sensical. So the most sensical thing to do would probably be to be a clown.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, actually. So yeah, rather than actually having to take all this at face value, you're like, well, sod this. This is quite clearly ridiculous, and I might as well embrace that fact.
Yeah, and I started street performing as a clown.
Fantastic.
Because I was trying to hopefully bring people some joy and wonder in a world that feels very sad sometimes.
Yeah. So how was your first street performance as a clown? Was it nerve-wracking? Did you feel like you were too serious? Were you too silly? When did you find your happy medium?
Oh, that's such a good question. I feel like it's funny to think of myself as a clown sitting down in my first street performance in Boston. I sat down and I played that song that I just played for you all. That was actually one of the first songs I'd ever written. And somebody gave me McDonald's French fries as a tip. I didn't make any money, but somebody gave me French fries. And if it was because they were feeling bad for me, I'm glad, because I love French fries.
Were they hot and fresh, or were they kind of like, they've been left in the fryer for a bit too long and left standing?
They were steamy.
Oh, perfect.
They were fresh. They also put ketchup in the bag with them. It was a caring gift.
So it wasn't just like, have a few French fries. It was a full, have a serving of French fries.
It was a medium.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very generous.
Very generous. It's like, yeah.
How's your street performance gone since then? Have you since made cash, or do you now just accept French fries or other food from the pavement?
Well, if you see me on the street, please give me French fries. But I stand now, and I love it. I don't do it as much anymore, but it feels like reconnecting with a younger version of my clown. And I do make some cash now, but really I feel like those little gifts that people give you that aren't money are really the best ones. Like one time a person just came up to me at Art Hop, actually, if you're out there. They gave me a cup. And they said, "This is a very magical cup." And I said, "Okay." And then I was like, "This is a very magical cup. I got to hold on to this cup." And then I found out when I was writing my one-person show that cup could hold perfectly this puppet.
We haven't been introduced yet, and for those just listening rather than watching, you seem to have a friend with you. It looks like to be maybe an alpaca or a llama. I'm not sure which. Would you like to introduce him? Or her, or them?
They are God. And I think they will introduce themselves in the next song.
Oh, okay. I'll leave off for the moment. I'm gonna let the tension build a little bit about having my first interaction with our Lord and Saviour.
Yes.
I once interviewed a group that did love to busk as well. Loved a bit of street performance, and they said their favourite thing to get was vegetables when busking. I'm just wondering, what's been your favourite gift while busking on the street?
Well, the magical cup was pretty good.
That's pretty high up there.
But there was one better than that, and okay, so story time. I used to have this very magical rock necklace that had a naturally occurring hole in it. and I wore it for many, many, many years. And I broke it off. It broke off. The string broke off. And then I was on my way to Art Hop the next year. And I was restringing my clown nose. And I took the old string of the clown nose and I said, what do I do with this old string? It's so meaningful. It's been with me for so long. It has raspberries on it. And I was like, where's that rock? And I had it in my car and I restrung the very special rock and put it around my neck for that performance. And then when I was getting to the end of that performance, someone came up to me and they were like, I want to give you something. And they handed me a rock with a naturally occurring hole in it that looked almost exactly like the rock that I had. You saw it, reverb-knob operator. It was very close. It was like, I know, it was magic.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Either that or you've got yourself a very dedicated stalker.
Oh no. Oh no. Putney Chris, don't find me.
They sound kind at least. So your clown nose. I want to know how long you've had it for. I feel like you have to be a certain caliber of clown to get a full professional clown nose. Most clown noses you would see at a joke store or whatever are just fat and bulbous and very much round. I feel like when you get to a certain level of clownery, you get these more elongated ones that you're sporting. So when did you get your first clown nose, and how long have you had this one for?
That is a great question, and I'd like to believe that I've always had it. And I know that there is ideas out there about clowns and being a very serious clown and getting your clown nose, but as who I am, I want to destroy the hierarchy of clown. Destroy the hierarchy of clown. We are all clowns. You can go out and get a nose right now and you can be a clown, and you can do a formal training, or you can watch a dog in the park and be very present with it, and then you became a clown. So that's what I think about that.
There's multiple ways to graduate clown university. It's kind of clown anarchism. Clownicism.
Yes, clown anarchy.
Clownarchy.
Clownarchy.
Well, that's good to know. Now I know I can actually graduate being a clown. I've been waiting for years to try and get enough credits, and
Let's all round of applause.
I didn't need that in the first place. Well, I feel like I build up the tension to meet God enough at this point. So I would love to hear your next song.
Yes, we're gonna wait for the reverb. Waiting for the reverb. Waiting for the reverb.
Specific reverb technician tonight, and we thank her for.
That's Maia. They're also experimental percussionist. Look up OUR on Spotify.
Thank you very much, Maia. You're really holding this all together, to be honest.
They really are.
Content Clown, please introduce us.
This next song is called "Oh Holy Woodpecker." Oh Holy Woodpecker. Oh, holy woodpecker, come peck next to me. I too love to bang my head against an old dead tree. Oh, holy woodpecker, come peck next to me. I too love to bang my head against an old dead tree. Oh, holy woodpecker, holy, holy, I too love to bang my head against an old dead tree. Oh, holy woodpecker, come peck next to me. Your pecks are like a piece of bread, and I'm hungry, 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 pecks are like a piece of bread, and I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. Oh, I know that it all will lead me back. Oh, I know that it all will lead me back. Hungry, I'm the meadow. to the meadow, 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 it will to the meadow, it will lead me back to the meadow, it will lead me back, it will lead to the meadow.
Content clown there with Oh Holy Woodpecker. I gotta ask. So, is your friend, your god, our god? Are they representing the woodpecker? Are they the woodpecker themselves? Are they the woodpecker's god? And they're in fact the woodpecker is an acolyte of your friend. Yeah, I feel I deserve that. I shouldn't have questioned. I'm sorry. Well, you've got quite the stare. So when did you encounter your singing partner here?
It was a dark and stormy night in Texas. The mic is falling. It was a witch's birthday, like it is sometimes. Her 50th birthday. Very special. And at this party for the witch, who was turning 50, everyone said to me, Bex, you must meet this person named Faye. And I said, this person named Faye, okay, I will meet. And so we met. And I was scared of Faye, to be honest. But she told me her life story for a very, very long time. And in return for my listening ears, she began to give me many, many gifts. One of them, a flamingo feather. One of them, a tarot card. And one of them, this.
Wow.
And I began dancing with the witch. And she said, Bex, you need to embrace your dark side. And I said, okay. And so I hid this dark side under a box for many, many months until I was ready to see that it was just the unknown. And once I looked into the unknown, I was ready to see that it was God.
Wow, a real kind of come to Jesus moment.
Oh, holy woodpecker.
Come to woodpecker moment. I'm curious to know what you did with the flamingo feather and the tarot card, and also what the tarot card was.
The tarot card was of death.
Fitting.
Yes. And the flamingo feather got squished into candle wax accidentally.
Okay.
Sorry, Faye.
Did the candle get burnt in the end with the flamingo feather with it?
Yes.
I guess that's kind of a fitting end for a witch's flamingo feather.
Totally.
I do enjoy the fact, and maybe this is just a witch thing, that on the witch's birthday you got presents.
Maybe we should make that a witch tradition. Moon expert? Does that seem like we should do that? We have a moon expert here tonight.
We do have a moon expert. Are you a moon expert? You're not by a microphone, so you're going to have to nod or shake your head, but are you an expert on witches as well?
They're being non-committal body language.
Yeah,
but,
that's a non-binary answer. Sorry.
We are all witch experts. Witch expert anarchy.
And clowns. So honestly, my resume is getting longer by the minute this evening.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about. So you're a puppeteer as well as a clown. So your resume is fairly long as well. You did a tour last year with your displaying your marionette abilities. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Where did you go? What did you see?
Oh, yes. Well, that was the Brave New Worm tour. That song that I just sang was a part of that show. And I went with the moon expert, like where I like to have a moon expert at all my shows. And they also played music with the tour. And we went many places and saw many things. The most exciting things that we saw were the eyes of people that decided to sit and watch us. And it was really fun, and there were lots of worms. The show that I was touring was called Brave New Worm, and there's an album out of the show if you want to listen.
Did you bring the worms? Did you find the worms? Did the worms come to you after hearing about your album?
Oh, good question. Those worms were forged in Lexington, Kentucky by a dear friend of mine, at Material Drifter on Instagram, if you want to check out their work. My friend Kat, I was telling her about this idea for their show, and she just said, "What if I made you a bunch of worms?" And I said, yes. And then now those worms, they were plush worms, and now they're distributed all throughout the tour sites. People bought them and hug them, and I have one that I hug, and they're very, very huggable.
Oh, a cuddly worm, that sounds sounds very nice. And how large were these worms? Like life size, human sized?
About this big.
Oh, wow.
For the people listening at home, I am holding my hands up at a certain length that you'll have to imagine.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty significantly sized worm right there.
Was a good worm.
Yeah. A lot of your songs are animal based. You've got woodpecker, you got worms. There is something about fishes' wishes. Fishy,
That's the
fish
next
wishes.
one. Yes.
Do you have an affinity for the animal kingdom? Do they speak to you and ask you to write these songs for them? Do you sing to them these songs yourself and they enjoy it? Tell us a little bit about your relationship with the animal kingdom.
That is such a good question. You're becoming a very good friend, I think. This is good. Because, yes, I love, you noticed, I love animals. I'm searching for God, maybe, through my art, through my singing, through my voice, through my questioning. And I see God in birds and in fish. And I think it's really hard to be a human. It's so hard to be a human, and I think that the creatures have something figured out that I'm trying to like, hey guys, maybe, yeah.
You know what? This actually comes into my head all the time, and I kind of also compare it to like how a mountain is always just a mountain. A mountain's never questioning the fact it's like something else. A mountain's never like maybe I'm a tree or something like that. A mountain's really good at just being a mountain. In the same way, like a cat is really good at being a cat. If you ever watch a cat for a little bit, you never see a cat really question itself. Yeah. As a cat, it's always like, I'm a cat. And I think humans have a real problem with like questioning themselves of like, am I being a proper human or am I being the right human? And animals don't really have that issue, nor do mountains or trees. And that's something I like to try and learn from non-humans.
Exactly. You're saying it, whatever it is. Sorry, God.
I love that this interview is being just as weird as I expected it to be before we started. So, as you said on your tour, the best thing you saw was the eyes of people looking at you. What are the ideal eyes for you? Who's your ideal audience? Who would you most want to play to, if you could?
Another good question. You should interview people professionally. This is really good. I think the ideal eyes are people who feel lost, and people who maybe think that they have to be something, and are pretending to be an adult, but actually just want to be a kid, and want to be a clown, and want to be a cat or a dog, or woof woof, meow meow, bloop bloop. If you're fish listening out there, not the band, the animal, I'd love you to listen too, but I feel like you don't need to listen because you are it. Yes.
Also, sound doesn't travel too great over in the water, so yeah, be a bit muted. Well, we'd love to hear another song, and in fact, great segue because we're talking about fish.
An amazing segue. Reverb-knob operator. So yes, this song is a song that I wrote about everything we were just saying. I have a quick question though before I start. What do you think the meaning of life is?
I generally think it's to be as happy as you personally can be, whatever that might be for you. I think there's not really much point doing anything else. So wherever you really find happiness is where you should be investing most of your life.
And what is happiness?
I think it's a feeling of contentness and warmth. Annie here kind of is that for me, to be honest. So really, wherever she is, that's usually where I can find it.
Aw, you know what? You guys sound just like God. Oh, if I were a little fish, I would have a little wish, and that would be to be free, and breathe, to be free, breathe easy, breathe easy, breathe. And if I were a little frog, I would have a little log, and I'd have a little wish. And that wish would be very similar to the wish of the fish. Ribbit. Ribbit. Breathe easy, breathe easy, breathe easy, breathe easy. Once I was a bird sitting on top of the world. I had everything I ever wanted in the palm of my beak. But there was one thing missing that would have made life so sweet. And that's if I could breathe easy, breathe easy, breathe easy, breathe easy. But I am not a bird. No, I am not a salmon. They call me human. Tried to call me girl, but I identify as lost in this world. But I have a wish, and that wish is to be just like the fish. Yeah, I'm just trying to breathe easy, breathe easy, breathe easy, breathe. I'm just trying to breathe. I did it.
All right, content clown there with the fish's wish. If you could be a fish, what kind of fish would you be?
Angel fish.
Oh, good answer. Because it's tropical and you get to be in the warmth, or because of the
Because
shape?
it's an angel.
It's an angel.
And maybe it eats angel food cake? Hopefully? Is that what they eat?
You could
Gideon's
try it.
nodding. Yeah.
We've got a fish expert over there. So yes,
Got a moon expert, got a
fish expert, witch expert. That's all of us. That's
are
all of
witch
us.
experts. Yeah.
Yep. Kissing fish would have been another good a good one for that one. You came out with this great album. Brave New Worm, part live, part death. What a great name for an album as well. Is some of this the album live, some of it's not quite live.
Some of it is live. Some of it is live taken from recordings from the tour, and some of it is recorded in my bedroom, which almost killed me. So, but I'm still here.
Still here. Does this mean that there is not going to be another album recorded entirely in your bedroom, and everything else from now on is going to be recorded on tour only?
Oh, that's another good question, but I'm open to trying to die again. I feel like whenever you make a big creative project, you die a little bit, and then you get born, and then you have an album, and you're like, well, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is your first album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the worst one I've heard. You know,
good.
After the first one, it gets a lot easier. You know, it's like kids. If I was a woman, I'd know, but I don't. But that's what I've been told.
You're
Yes.
stretched.
Yeah, it's easier after the first. Anyway, depends if you had the cesarean or not. But yeah. So are you kind of currently wandering the meadows and the woods and trying to find new inspiration? Where do you, as a clown and a nature affinity person, kind of find your inspiration?
Definitely wandering the meadows,
Yeah.
though also through the darkness of the soul. The next show that I'm working on is about time, and I am really mad about time. It goes so fast, but then it goes so slow, and then it's like, it's over, and then you're like, oh my god, I'm still alive. So it's about that kind of is the next show.
Are you going to bring in some of your singing partners from previous shows to play, or is it going to be this time like a big, watch or something, or what's going to be incorporated in this act?
Well, definitely going to bring a moon expert. That's for sure. And actually, my collaborator / love over here, OUR, is going to work on the show with me, and we are working on. I made at this artist residency recently. Have you ever heard of a cranky?
No, please tell me more.
It's like a box that has a scroll in it, and you twist it, and then a 2D sort of thing. Do you kind of see it?
It's kind of like on Scooby-Doo, where they're running through the hallways, and it's the same thing over and over again. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I created a bike-powered cranky.
Oh.
So the movement of the bike moves it, and we want the big ambition for the time show is that it will be completely bikeable, and we'll bike tour it. That's the dream. And some of the puppets will be bike puppets.
Oh, I love that. So are you a big biker yourself? Do you incorporate this into your act intentionally because you love cycling?
Yes, I love the last song I played I'll play tonight, was written while on a bike tour, and I just love it. It's like, it's so good. You're just like rolling, and then you're like with nature, and it's like, and I want to do that forever. Yeah, right? It's so good.
Do you cycle with full clown regalia, or do you have like a clown cycle outfit?
I haven't done that. I did do a little bit of clown cycling when I did my first bike tour, but if anybody out there wants to join me, I feel like that's like a group. You got a group.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it. Let's do it.
I love cycling myself. I'm a big cycler. We done a 200 on 100. If you've ever done that one, that was a grueling day. 200 miles in a day killed me. Body did not like that at all. And I just feel like the cyclists themselves dress ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's all lycra, skin tight. You look stupid in the best way possible. I just feel like you could definitely create a clown outfit out of very regular cycling clothes.
Oh, totally. Like, you're already halfway there.
Yeah.
The butt is very prominent in a cycling outfit, and people love that.
I think you could probably even go for the long shoes as well. You know what I mean? You're not really walking too much, so they're not going to be too much of an impediment. You know?
Yes.
Clown nose means the little nose isn't going to get too cold, which it occasionally does, especially if it's early morning, late at night. Yeah, just food for thought. You know what I mean?
If you want to join, I'm so down.
I would be open to it.
Annie can come too.
Yeah, Annie got her bike last season, so we're looking to do a little bit of touring. So
let's do it.
See what happens.
Clown bike tour.
Clown bike tour. So you went on a tour for the last album. Where did you go on your tour? Whereabouts was it?
We started in Lexington, Kentucky, and it was kind of weave-wobbly. We went to Providence, Rhode Island. We went to Portland. We went to New York City, baby. New York City. Where else did we go, Maya?
Terrible place to cycle, by the way.
Yeah, don't want to do
good.
that. New Jersey. I'm definitely missing places. Pittsburgh. Philly. Portland, Providence. There was a lot of P names. Brattleboro, Montpelier. I think that was it.
This was extensive. How long did this take you?
Like a month. Yeah, like a month.
Yeah, it's a decent amount. How many miles did you go in the end?
I don't know. Well, that wasn't on bikes. That was
okay.
That was on driving.
Okay, got it.
That would be yeah. That was doing this.
This was going to turn into a biking interview rather than a clown interview. We should get back to the clowning here.
Yeah.
A good question I was curious about when I was doing a bit of research is, what is the Vermont clown community like? Is it a welcoming group? Have you learned a lot from them? Have you met a lot of them?
Oh, shout out to everybody in Brattleboro, Vermont. There's a lot of awesome clowns in Brattleboro. And then I'm sure many are familiar with Bread and Puppet, and I haven't really been connected with them, but I'm hoping to draw, I think there's like the Northeast Kingdom has a great thing happening. Brattleboro has a great thing happening, but we need more clowns in Central Vermont. So if anybody, I teach workshops, we can play around. We need more clowns. I mean, we are all clowns, but yeah.
Apart from those clowns at the State House, of course.
Yes.
I enjoyed that one. There's there's a clown school, clown college, clown summer camp up in the Northeast Kingdom, right?
Yeah, Circus Schmirkus.
That's the one, Circus Schmirkus. Have you encountered much with them?
I haven't. I've met people who've worked there, but it's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
It's a lot of kids, and I want to draw in the adults that want to be more like kids.
I see. Have you ever taught, apart from obviously graduating all of us from clown college today, have you taught other clowns how to clown?
I mean, other humans.
Other humans how to become clowns?
Open humans, yes. I have, I just taught a workshop with the Vermont Playback Troupe, and I'm hoping to do more of it too.
Just can you tell us what happens lesson 1? What would we expect if we turned up to one of your workshops?
Be funny. Uh-oh.
As you can tell, I struggle with that, obviously. So
you're doing great.
This would be a bit of a worry. Well, we would love to hear another song. So
great.
What
I'm going to sip some water.
Yeah.
Thank you, reverb operator. This song is called Somebody. Closer to a leaf frond, closer to a leaf frond, closer to a leaf frond, closer to. Mushroom, I am just like you. I have thousands of genders too. My earlobe is a man. My tongue is doing the best she can. My toes are so beyond. My ancestors know I am closer to a leaf frond. I am not somebody, I am just somebody. 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 I am not somebody.
right. Somebody There by Content Clown. Okay, lots of connections happening this evening. One, dying and becoming a mushroom in the next life it's something Annie and I have talked about quite a lot, actually. This is our whole idea of how to live forever. And we especially like this because they've started being able to try and communicate with mushrooms. I don't know if you've read about this.
Please educate me.
Yeah, so they've kind of figured out what mushrooms sound like to each other by looking at the electrical signals that they send each other and providing kind of an audible kind of sound that goes with that. And some very far off idea that we might one day actually be able to like communicate with mushrooms ourselves, which would be really incredible.
If you could say anything to a mushroom, what would you say?
How do I become you? I want to.
Yeah.
Mostly, how do I start Mushroom University?
Yes.
I've graduated as a clown. I'm onto the next thing now.
I'm a witch expert.
Yeah, I'm a witch expert.
I feel like those things set you up really well to become a mushroom.
I would write them a long letter about how we would like to please join their crew. Yeah. We've also been watching The Last of Us recently, and I really feel like it's kind of a zombie show, but the zombies are mushrooms, and we're really feeling an affinity with the zombies rather than the humans in it as well. So, but yeah, I'd love that song about mushrooms. Please tell us how you came up with that. Sorry, I just went on a ramble for a while.
Oh, no, I loved it. I think I was also trying to communicate with the mushroom, and I made this puppet of a mushroom because I relate. They've got something figured out, and
really
if I could, I would ask them the same question. If I could ask them a question like, how are you doing it? You seem so good. Like, you got it. So I was just sitting in my house and being like, having feelings about being gendered. And mushrooms, I don't know if you know, do have like there's thousands of genders of mushrooms. It's like a very expansive. And so I was like, I feel more like that than a woman or a man so it was coming from a feeling of like, a deep desire to be seen as a mushroom.
Yeah, it's in the way that they are seen by us as well, and the fact that we don't see most of them as well. It's just we just see these little tips, which I think kind of says a lot as well.
Ooh.
And the majority of what's going on is actually just going on in the earth, and they'll be there long after we're gone. And thank God, frankly, because they they know what they're doing. We're in their safe hands.
Totally, they can take over the earth. I'm good.
Yeah. Please,
enough.
Hurry it up. Let us join you. So we've not got too much time left, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to kind of let everyone know what have you got coming up for yourself. Where can we find you? Where will this new show on time be? What's going on in the near future?
Yes, as I also retune for the next song. Yes, thank you for asking. You can find my album on Spotify and Bandcamp, like the people say at the end of their sets. And the next time I'm performing, I know you love this song. Oh yeah. The next time I'm performing will be at the Central Vermont Drag Ball on March 11th at the Barrie Labor Hall. And the next time I'll be performing music will be at Fresh Pressed Wednesday at Radio Bean on March 15th, 9 p.m. Way past my bedtime. Maybe it's not past your bedtime, though. You should come.
Fantastic. And have you got any big plans for clowning in the spring and summer? I feel like this is best seen almost underneath sunlight, I feel warm weather and this kind of music and vibe they go together hand in hand.
I hope so. I got a show on April Fool's Day in Philly. So we'll see. It just keeps rolling. Anybody want to play outside with me? I want to play outside with you. Maybe we could have a pool and maybe we could have bubbles. We should have bubbles. Oh, Foundations is a time in June, which is a retreat me and the Moon Expert help run. And you can learn how to be a clown at Foundations in beautiful Rowe, Vermont. So much to say. Massachusetts, not Vermont. It's very close to here, but it's Massachusetts.
It is
Rowe,
Massachusetts.
Look it up. Yeah, I did a good job. It's at the row center.
And then, last but not least, social medias, because I know you are all over Insta.
Yes, at Content Clown. You can find me on Instagram at Content Clown.
And there's a lot of good content.
Lots of content.
On the Content Clown.
Some that will
Insta.
make you content, hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you in.
It's been very nice. I've enjoyed talking to you.
Oh, thank you very much. I've enjoyed talking to you too. This has been a lovely intimate Wednesday.
Yeah, great Wednesday. I hope that you turn into a mushroom one day.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll let you know how that goes, and hopefully you'll be a mushroom as well, and we can just communicate under the soil, and we'll let each other know that we made it. Well, what song have you got left to play us out with?
Guess what? It's a song about animals, and it's called "What Do the Birds Do?" What do the birds do when it rains? How do they keep their feathers safe? For when the moonlight, when it comes their way, covered in glorious moonlight, when it comes there, what do the birds do when it rains? How do they keep their feathers safe? For when the moonlight, when it comes their way, covered in glorious moonlight, when it comes there. I used to be afraid of things with wings. I used to be afraid of things with wings, and then I saw a monarch butterfly who is the same as any other butterfly, and then I saw a spotted lanternfly who is the same, and I am not afraid. No, 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 I'm not afraid. No, I am not afraid.
All right, What Do the Birds Do by Content Clown. Content. I'm going to go with Content Clown.
I feel very content right now.
That was a lovely song, by the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
This has been brilliant. Thank you so much for coming in, and we're very much looking forward to your second album.
Thank you.
So when it comes out, please come back in again.
Yeah. Next time on a bike.
And this time on a bike, yes. Hopefully in the summer, we'll all bike together.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, that's all we've got time for this evening. Next week, please tune in. We've got Bella and the Notables coming in. But for now, this has been WOMM-LP operating out of Burlington, Vermont, 105.9 The Radiator. It's been The Rocket Shop. I've been your host, Tom Proctor, and good night. Woo! Oh, that's wonderful.
That was so fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for